Something already tried to stop you from a mistake this month. You just didn't recognize it as God. Maybe it looked like a bad morning, a conversation that suddenly went cold, a pull to pray that made no sense at the time. You called it coincidence, bad luck, nerves, and moved on without asking who actually sent it. 3 of those moments are about to sound uncomfortably familiar. The third one is the one that requires something from you. Not just noticing, actual obedience. And most people talk themselves out of it before they finish praying about it. Warning 1. When your mind suddenly goes blank mid-conversation, you're mid-story, mid-confession, mid-something you didn't plan on sharing, and it just stops. The words are gone. You feel strangely drained, like something got interrupted that you didn't interrupt yourself. Proverbs says to guard your heart above everything else, because everything you do flows out of it. Most people read that as a warning about what you let in. It's just as much a warning about what you let out, and who you let receive it. Not everyone across the table has clean hands. Some people are gatherers. They collect your story piece by piece, and you don't find out what they were collecting it for until the damage is already done. Picture it. You're at the kitchen table or on a call, halfway through telling someone about the thing you're planning, the dream you haven't told anyone yet, and mid-sentence, it just goes. Not because you got interrupted, because something in you quietly closed the door before you could say the rest. Most people push through that moment out of politeness. They don't want the silence to feel awkward, so they force the words out anyway. There's a time to speak and a time to be silent. When your spirit suddenly goes quiet mid-sentence, that might not be you losing your train of thought. That might be God enforcing the silence for you, because He can already see where those words were headed, and you can't. Here's who I actually want to talk to. Not the person who overshares with everyone. You probably already know that about yourself. I'm talking to the person who felt that exact blank moment recently, brushed it off as nerves, and kept talking anyway because the silence felt awkward. If that's you, honor it next time. You don't owe anyone your whole story before God says it's time. Warning 2, and this is the one people argue with me about the most. When someone looks completely fine on paper, and your spirit still won't settle around them. They say the right things, show up when they say they will. Nothing you could point to in a conversation with a friend and say, "See, right there, that's the problem." And still, something in you stays braced every time they're in the room. That restlessness isn't you being dramatic. It isn't paranoia dressed up as intuition. Think about Balaam's donkey for a second, an animal that stopped in the road, refused to move, and got beaten for it 3 times before Balaam's own eyes finally opened to see what the donkey had been seeing the whole time. An angel, blade drawn, standing exactly where Balaam was about to walk. The donkey wasn't being stubborn. It was the only one in that story actually paying attention. That's what this warning feels like before you have proof. A quiet refusal to keep walking forward, arriving before the evidence does, on purpose, because waiting for evidence is sometimes how people get hurt. Scripture doesn't ask you to have proof first. It asks you to test what you're sensing and trust it enough to slow down while you do. If this is landing somewhere real right now, if a face just came to mind while I was talking, don't push it away. Drop 1 word in the comments, just what you're feeling. I read every single one, and you are not the only person typing it tonight. Warning 3. And this is the one that costs you something, which is exactly why most people ignore it. The sudden, urgent pull to pray, out of nowhere, for no reason you can name. You're at work, driving, in the middle of dinner, and it hits. Not a gentle nudge, an urgency, a pull to stop everything right now and pray for someone or something you can't even identify. Nothing around you triggered it. There's no context, just the pull, sharp and insistent, refusing to wait until later. Scripture says the Spirit helps us in our weakness. interceding for us with groanings too deep for words, because we don't always know what we're even supposed to be praying for. That's what Romans says is happening in you, in that moment. What Scripture doesn't say is exactly who it's for, or why, or whether you'll ever find out. So I won't tell you it always means someone specific needs you right now. I don't know that, and neither does anyone claiming to. What I'd say instead is this: Scripture treats that pull as real and worth answering, whether or not the reason behind it is ever revealed to you. This is different from the first two warnings, and you need to feel that difference. The first two just asked you to notice. This one is asking you to move, right now. Pull the car over, step out of the meeting, put the fork down mid-bite if you have to. Because the pull doesn't wait, it fades. And the moment it fades, whatever it was for happens without you standing in the gap for it. The enemy is counting on you being too busy to answer, too embarrassed, too unsure whether it's really God or just anxiety. Don't hand him that. So here's what ties these three together, because they were never really three separate things. A blank mid-sentence, an unease you can't explain, an urgent pull to pray. All three are the same voice, showing up in different rooms of your life. Guarding what you release, seeing what you can't yet prove, interceding for what you can't yet see. Different situations, same source, and all three asking the exact same thing of you. Will you trust what you can't fully explain? So ask yourself honestly, which of these three have you actually felt and brushed past in just the last few weeks? Not your friend, not the person from church you've been worried about lately. You. Whatever the answer is, here's what matters more than which one it was. You're still able to feel it. That's not nothing. That's proof the line hasn't gone dead. Go back to that moment from this month I mentioned at the start. The bad morning, the conversation that went cold, the pull that made no sense. Look at it again, right now, with everything you just heard. That wasn't nothing. That was him. Before you scroll past this, take 30 seconds and actually bring it to God. Not a performance. Just tell him you noticed and ask him to keep showing you. And if any of this stirred something real in you tonight, subscribe, because we're going deeper into what Scripture actually says about these moments every single week. And if there's someone in your life who's mentioned feeling exactly one of these three things recently and brushed it off the same way you almost did, send them this. You might be the confirmation they've been quietly praying for.